Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger and my friends. The first day of the Tokyo Game Show has wrapped up, and the first big presentation of King of Fighters 15 at Tokyo Game Show has also wrapped up, and we got a lot of juicy info. Not the least of which is we got not one, but two different character trailers. We have Isla, the all-new character, and we have K-Dash finally getting his first trailer. K-Dash technically made his debut 265 days ago as the time of recording, and only now is he finally getting his trailer, so that's really cool and about time. K-Dash seems to return mostly intact, a lot of his classic stuff, and some stuff that hasn't been around in a while, it would seem. K-Dash is the hero of the NES Saga series of games. So that's King of Fighters 99, 2000, and 2001. At the moment, no idea what team he's on or what characters will be paired with him. Usually it's a safe bet to say, oh, maybe Maxima or maybe Kula would be with him or against him. But in King of Fighters 15, hey, who knows, right? Because teams definitely are getting changed up. But that's the quick rundown of K-Dash. And once again, established character, we know who he is. What about Isla? Isla is an all-new character, and what's she about? Well, that's a very good question. The first thing we learn about her, going by the trailer, is she's a graffiti artist. She's just tagging stuff left, right, and center. Now, graffiti, like skateboarding, is a crime, kids. So don't follow suit in that. She is definitely meant to be Shune's rival, and just like Shune, she has the verse hands. The whole story behind that, we do not know as of yet, but she uses them in combat. One of the big things about her in combat is she fights with her hands in her pockets for most of the fight. She kicks a lot, uses the verse hands for a lot of punches, but she's pretty much too cool for school and will only very rarely take her hands out of her pockets. It has been confirmed she is from South America, although not sure where. They didn't go into specifics just yet. What I can say though, her fighting style is definitely 100% unique. I thought maybe they might be like re-pro some of Versus moves and give it to her. Just to save some animation, save some of the moveset, that kind of stuff. But no, she is very much her own character with 100% unique moveset and looks really cool while doing it. Also, the color palette, the spray cans, the everything's just very colorful with this character, which I definitely appreciate. There's been too many drab characters lately in fighting games, in my opinion. Colorful is definitely the way to go. So we got two character trailers, one for K-Dash, long awaited, and one for Isla, and that's an all new character. But is that it? Is that all we got? Well, heavens no, we actually got a lot more. How about some really big announcements? The King of Fighters 98, one of the most famous fighting games of all time, and KOF 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition will be getting rollback netcode. So sometime this winter, no specific date just yet, but before the launch of King of Fighters 15, KOF 98 is getting rollback. So KOF 2002 already has rollback, and if you've never played it, it's really good rollback netcode, just so you know. And 98 is a very famous game. Usually 98, 2002, 13, those are the three King of Fighters games people will talk about, right? As, the favorite or the best or whatever have you. And 98 getting rollback is a big deal. And for the most part, you can pick up 98 pretty cheap on Steam. It's not a terribly expensive buy. And frankly, it's one of the best and most important fighting games of all time, flat out. So whenever the rollback beta rolls around, I'd say give it a shot. More announcements? You bet. How about basically full-on confirmation that the build you're seeing here right now at TGS, the 8-character build, will come to our hands some way, some form in the future. So I don't know if it's going to be a demo or it's going to be like a full-on online beta to test out the netcode, but we will be able to get our hands on the King of Fighters 15 before the game properly launches. So no concrete details past that just yet, but it is coming at some point, and that's really refreshing and really delightful to learn. Very happy to see it. Past that, there's some just, general glad handing around, talking about a lot of the characters, who's returning, that kind of stuff. They are working their best to make sure the rollback netcode is the best it can be. Talking about COVID complications, how it delayed the game, as you're probably well aware. The game is now a 2022 launch from its original sometime later in 2021 launch date. I was very happy to see them address a lot of core gameplay stuff, however. Talking about King of Fighters 14, I love the game, but one of my biggest gripes with the game was a lot of the game was just, crouch light, crouch light, crouch light, fish for max activation, combo out. And that's directly one of the things they talk about, is they knew that was an issue, and that's why a lot of things are the way they are now in the game. Like max taking 2 meters now instead of 1 meter as it was before. They have things like Shatter Strike. Shatter Strike is full 1 meter unless you connect with it, then it's a half bar, and that's an alternate way to start a lot of combos. You can get your hit confirm, go to Shatter Strike, then get a bit of a combo. It's not always going to be max activations. Now, max activations are not worthless, far from it, but it's not the only game in town anymore, which I'm a big fan of. In the presentation, they also did reiterate, if you're not aware, that raw max activation, so you doing max mode outside of a combo, will give you a damage buff and also make you do more damage to the guard meter. So going into raw max activation is now still pretty valuable. Before, certain characters, you did it anyways because it was the only way you could get your EX moves. King of Fighters 15, you can do EX whenever you want now, so that's not a big deal anymore. But so there is definitely bonuses for raw max mode activations. Other things that were speculated on before, we always knew, if you're in max mode, if you EX, it takes a chunk of your max mode meter, and it's otherwise free, right? So doing your supers while in max mode also just uses the max mode meter, so it will not use any of your actual super meter past you burning the 2 bars to go into max mode. So that's how we now know we get our level 1 into level 2 into level 3 combos. If you go into raw max mode, your level 1 and your level 2 will effectively be free. They just drain the bar. And then you have 3 meters left over because it takes 2 meters to activate max mode. And that's how you get your level 3. Also, fun things like guard cancels, shatter strikes, those are all free under the new max mode settings as well. They do not take additional bar. They just take your meter while you're in max mode. So effectively, if you're with your anchor character who has the longest max mode gauge, you can get away with a lot of stuff. A lot of techniques are on the table freely, and you can just do kind of whatever you want, whenever you want. Also mentioned, when you're doing a max mode inside of a combo, there is a little bit of time stop now, because before it would just go right into it, right? You would do a hit, max, keep doing your hits. The time stop is there just to give you a little bit of time to recombobulate yourself, figure your stuff out, what buttons you're going to hit, all that kind of stuff. So just a lot of really smart changes being made across the board, and that's all they talked about here directly. I'm sure there's a lot of little things that weren't even mentioned. And they do go over stuff like EX moves costing only half a bar, which once again, I'm just a super massive fan of. They also go into some detail about the draft mode, which is a little bit more thought out than I thought it would be. So it's pick 3, obviously not, this is King of Fighters, right? So how it goes is player 1 is the first pick, player 2 gets picks number 2 and 3, and then you alternate before you have all your final characters. Also, there is no mirror characters allowed. So if you know like KOF 13, there's going to be no Mr. Karate versus Mr. Karate here. If you are in draft mode, it has to be 6 different characters in total for the entire match, which honestly, I think is pretty cool. Now, how will draft mode work out competitively in the end? It might be more a for fun kind of thing, who knows? But I bet some people will mess around with it. I like the idea that you have to have your own distinct characters, no mirror matches, and it could be a deal like maybe I'm an all-right Ash Crimson, but I know this guy's an amazing Ash Crimson, so I'm going to pick Ash before he can use him. That kind of mind games. That would be very interesting to see. And finally, we got the first ever full-on proper gameplay of King of Fighters 15. No cuts, no trailer edits, none of that stuff. Just a full-on proper match and looking pretty good. So this was an invitational. I'm not sure how much time they had beforehand to play, because with the legacy characters, the players were doing fine for the most part because, legacy skill transfers over. Even if it is a different game and certain things are different, the basics can definitely carry over game to game. But everyone looked a little lost playing Isla, so there definitely was a little bit of a struggle there. So we definitely learned some new things about some of the returning classic characters, like Kyo has a new stand heavy punch, looks kind of similar to Soul's stand far slash. In Guilty Gear Strive, we'll see if it remains to be that annoying, hopefully not. Lots of stuff to be learned, like Leona, it seems she has some new combo potential in this King of Fighters 15 revision versus the King of Fighters 14 revision. And just like some of the basics here, like the gameplay here, the screen is more zoomed in versus how it was in 14. So claustrophobic is not the word for it, but it's definitely a lot more faster paced now because of this, that the camera's brought in a little bit and everyone's just going to be a little bit closer overall. It's hard to tell without, getting your hands on it directly, but everything just feels just a smidge quicker than it was in 14. I'm sure there's tons of little under the hood tweaks that have not been mentioned just yet that contribute to this. Also, the game is playable on site here at TGS. Not many people there. It's mostly like invite-only influencers, press, that kind of stuff. But like we know how taunts work now. Taunts are light punch plus heavy kick, so there you go. They also have a bit of a command list out there, and it's very interesting because there's a couple things to note. I look at my Shiranui's move list here, and they actually show her target combo. In King of Fighters 14, if you want to know about the target combo, someone had to tell you, or you mashed a lot and you figured it out, because it was nowhere to be found in the move list. So I'm happy they're actually showcasing that stuff. Everyone with target combos in King of Fighters 14, the move list didn't tell you they existed. So it's pretty basic, but I'm happy it's finally there. Also, going by these move lists, one very interesting thing is Terry Bogard. So Terry Bogard's rising tackle move is no longer a charge move. It is now a motion move, a Dragon Punch motion move. It hasn't been a motion move compared to a charge move in like 20 plus years at this point. Who knows the exact thought process? My guess is simply there's going to be more new players playing KOF 15 than at like any point in the series history in a very, very long time. Lots of fresh blood coming in. Lots of people are going to want to play Terry Bogard because he's Terry from Smash, right? And charge is going to scare people away, especially if you come from Smash. So for the benefit and the sake of the newer players who want to play Terry, I'm assuming that's why Rising Tackle is now a traditional motion versus the charge it's been for many, many years. Maybe I'm crazy, but that makes sense to me. And that's about the long and short of the major events here at TGS for now. The event at TGS, that is, 2021, is going on for several days and the booths are open and KOF 15 is on site. So this is the proper main event, I guess you could say, the special presentation, but there is more to come just yet. So keep your eyes open because there's going to be a lot of interesting little doodads just from people messing around on site with the game and the demo build. That's how we know about taunts and that kind of stuff now. But overall, just very, very impressed with everything I've seen so far. Very happy to see proper gameplay. The game flows in the way I very much hoped it will, so very impressed with that. Happy with a lot of the announcements they had on site. Isla herself looks like a very interesting character. Like, one of the things I really like about her is she can double jump. King of Fighters is not an anime fighter. There is no special movement. But just like Shune, because she's Shune's rival, she gets to break the game in that interesting way. As Shune is able to air dash, which is, once again, not really a thing in this game. So Isla can double jump, Shune can air dash, so these characters bring in a little bit of that anime fighter flavor to the game, where it doesn't really exist before, because that's not the kind of game KOF is. But as it stands, that's it for now. Of course, my friends, when the time comes and there is more King of Fighters 15 news to talk about, I will be here and I got your back. But until that time, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some King of Fighters.